Hi everyone, welcome back. This week we are going to learn about operating systems, specifically managing, coordinating, and monitoring resources. Like every other week, we will start with an interview simulation. So, the topic is an operating system is a device that works like a human brain. As technologies improve, so do the capabilities of the operating systems. Now, as a part of this topic, you can initiate some discussion about the challenges faced when using an older mobile phone compared to the benefits of using a smartphone or smart device. Now, in this chapter, we are going to learn about the following topics. First of all, we want to explain the purpose of an operating system. We will identify different types of operating systems. We shall explain how to select an operating system. We shall also elaborate on managing files and folders with an operating system. We will also describe the uses of operating system management utilities. And of course, like any other topics, system security features are very important for an operating systems. And finally, we will explain uses of virtual machine. So let's start our journey. Now, operating system by itself is an interesting artifact when you deal with computers. We use computers for our business purposes or doing some research, doing some studies, whatever we do today, we need computers. And then when we look at our computers, we just see a device with a screen. And if you switch on that device, you will see some activities on the screen. And then you can log into the system. And then you can start using different programs and you can do your works. Whatever work you are planning to do, you can get that done using your computers. If that is digitized, that domain is digitized and automated, then you should be able to handle most of the things with the computers. For example, our daily things like bill payment, we use online bill payment portals these days. Even the companies, they do insist us to do that in order to save the environment, not by printing the papers. So that's why we need just not a hardware, but also some software that will help us to accomplish all of our digitized or digital tasks. So system software is a software that runs a computer, including the operating system. An operating system is a set of programs that coordinate all the activities of computers or mobile devices in general of all devices. You need an operating system to operate a device and operating system acts like a brain of the device. When you talk about operating system, the concept is very, very generic. Like there are two perspectives of operating system. Number one is virtualization or uh, interfacing. You have hardware, like you have a printer, but on your computer you can see the symbol of the printer, and that's how you virtualize the printer, and you interact with the interface that the operating system program presents to you for using the printer. And then you have the concept of extended machines. Each layer of the operating system is a part of the machine. So when we talk about machines, we think about hardware. With innovation of the operating system, with introduction of the operating systems or implementation of the operating system, we feel like the software part of the operating system, which is software, operating system is strictly software by any means. This software part of the system is essentially feeling like an extended machine. The operating system and utility programs control the behind the scene operations of operating system or mobile device. Some operating systems also allow users to control a network and administer security. You can see here a flow diagram. This diagram describes operating system functions. In the core of the system is the operating system, this oval shaped center is the operating system, and it is connected to the icons of the operating functions from the top in clockwise directions. Like you can see graphical user interface, update system, security, memory management, configuration settings, internet connections, file management, and startup and shutdown buttons. An icon corresponding to graphical user interface shows the monitor screens displaying different icons with the text box and reads click here. An icon corresponding to update system shows three gears arranged in a circular manner above horizontal status bar labeled update. An icon corresponding to provide security shows a shield with lock and center and an exclamation mark at the top left of the shield. An icon corresponds to manage memory shows an IC chips, integrated circuit chip with the text that read RAM memory. An icon corresponding to configure setting shows a gear. An icon corresponding to internet connection shows a globe icon with an arrow at the bottom right corner pointing towards top left direction. An icon of the file management shows a laptop. A power icon represents start and shutdown button. This is all this picture describes, and this summarizes the introduction to the operating systems, how it looks like. Basically, it shows you a look and feel of the operating system. The table here summarizes programs and apps by category. If you want to do the following thing, like if you want to start a word processing program and open a document, then the role of operating system is starting the word processing program, provides and also to provide tools for you to open the document file. If your task is adding information to the document, then role of the operating system would be to manage memory so the computer can run, and also to save your unsaved work to temporary storage. If your task is save the document on the hard drive, then the role of the operating system will be locating the hard drive, making sure the hard drive has enough storage space, then save the document, and also to store the location and file system in an internal database so that you can access the document later. An operating system has following features. You can see a graphical user interface or GUI. This is a collective term for all the ways you can interact with the device. A GUI controls how you can interact with menus, programs, and applications, and the images such as icons by touching, pointing, tapping, or clicking the buttons and other objects so that um, you can issue the comments. An icon is a small picture that represents a program, file, or hardware device. A button is a graphic that you click to execute commands you need to work with an application such as toolbar, taskbar, or the ribbon. The picture actually shows you a typical pop-up that you can find if you simply click on your Windows icon or the search. There is a search button. There is a search area on the Windows. If you click that, you will find this pop-up, and this shows you different applications, different. This shows you a graphical user interface, and there you can see different icons like you can see Edge, that's your internet browser for Microsoft, the Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and so on. There are a lot of other applications. You can even see the social media applications like Instagram, Facebook, and so on. I mean, music um, service application, Spotify. So it has all kind of icons, and also you can see some buttons as well. So if you click on all apps button, you will find all the applications. If you click on more buttons, you will find more recommended applications, instance of the application. So typically these are the icons and these are the buttons. A menu is a list of related items including folders, applications, and commands. Many menus organize commands on a submenu, which is a list of additional commands associated with selected command on a menu. A shortcut menu is a list of frequently used commands that relate to an object. Some menu commands display a dialog box, which is a box which controls that let you tell the operating system how you want to complete a command. For a quick example, let's open the File Explorer application on Microsoft Windows. So if you click on Files menu, you will find um, different, if you click on the File tab, you will find different menus like Open New Window, Open Windows PowerShell, and so on. So once you once you put your mouse button over the Open New Window, you will see two sub menus: Open New Window, Open New Window in New Process. So you can find that there are uses of menus and submenus. To reiterate, a menu is a list of related items including folders, applications, and commands. Many menus organize commands on a submenu. A shortcut menu is a list of frequently used commands that relate to an object. Some menu commands display a dialog box. A dialog box control the following things. I mean, if you look at a typical dialog box, let's say we are looking at page page setup dialog box. You can see here you have different option buttons. The round buttons that present one choice, they are also called radio buttons. This is the These are the option button. These are the radio buttons. The radio button, the implication of a radio button is that you can only click one of them. You cannot click both of them. You can have square boxes. These are the check boxes. You can click multiple of them. So they correspond to a yes or no choice on the screen. So if you click on grid lines and then click OK, then you are setting up your page with grid lines. List boxes lists operating list of options that appear when you click arrows in a dialog box. Some list boxes allow you to make multiple selections. You can have multi-select rows as well. These are the summary of the functions that are done by the operating system. You should be familiar with the functions of your system so that you can take advantage of them to increase your productivity. These include starting and shutting down a computer or device, managing programs, managing memory, coordinating tasks, configuring devices, establishing an internet connection, monitoring performance, providing file management, updating operating system software, monitoring security, controlling network access. These are some important functions of operating systems. An operating system takes care of the technical tasks of running the computer or device while you work on school or professional projects. Or you can watch videos, connect with friends, play games. The operating system is essential software or application on your computer or device. A a multi-user operating system does not always process tasks on a first come, first served basis. If a user or task have been assigned a higher priority than others by network admin, the operating system performs higher priority tasks first. For example, an operating system on a corporate server may process tasks to check for incoming email messages more frequently than it processes tasks to access archived documents. The operating system is responsible for coordinating the resources and activities on a computer. The computer system consists of different resources, and those resources are required to perform work, including the processor, the RAM, storage space, and connected devices. And operating system is the go between for you and the computer. It accepts your instructions and data and provides information from the system to you. The operating system also manages interactions between hardware and software. I explained it before. If you want to print a flyer you created in your word processing program, I'm again referencing the printer system. The operating system establishes a connection to your printer in order to send the flyer document to the printer and lets other software know that printer is busy until it finishes printing those flyers. During this process, the operating system directs internal components such as processor, RAM, and storage space to manage and complete its tasks. When we talk about operating system, there are important terminologies we have to be familiarize ourselves with. One of the most important one is virtual memory. It allows an operating system to temporarily store data on a storage medium until it can be swapped into RAM, random access memory. The technique of swapping items between memory and storage is called paging. Paging is a time-consuming process. It takes a lot of time. Instructions used for processing data can be in the form of a program or application, commands or user responses. The information is processed into output. For example, a web page typically combines texts and graphics, and that may include audio and video as well. Most devices like laptops and desktop computers have the options to add memory and storage. Like you can see that you have the ports for adding USB devices. You can add your flash memory to the USB. In order to increase the memory of a smartphone, you can add flash memory in the form of micro SD cards. Users who take many high resolution photos and videos for professional or personal use can benefit from additional memory. These are the examples, simple use cases of your additional memory that you might, as a user of your smartphone, sometimes you you use that. Input is any data that and instructions entered into the memory of a device. Input data and instructions can be provided in many different ways, including interacting with your touch screen or using a keyboard. Once data is in memory, the computer or device interprets it and the system software executes instructions to process the data into um, information. This is sometimes you can call it digitization of your data. Instructions used for processing the data can be in form of program, or application commands or user responses, the information is processed into what we call output. Output can be your screen. Simple. It can be as simple as your screen. On the screen, you can see some results. There are even more interesting concepts like the buffer. Buffer is an area of memory that stores data and information waiting to be sent to an input or output device. When you place some data into a buffer, that process is called spooling. An operating system can be single tasking or multitasking. A single tasking system allows only one program or application to run at a time. Most operating systems today are multitasking. A multitasking operating system allows two or more programs or applications to reside in memory at the same time. The one in the foreground is the active program. The foreground applications are the active program. The other program running but not in use are in the background. The foreground program is typically displayed on the screen, and the background programs are hidden partially or completely behind the foreground program. In addition to managing applications, an operating system also manages other processes. A multi-user operating system enables two or more users to run programs simultaneously. You can have multiple types of operating systems. You can have servers that do not run the same operating system as tablets, laptops, etc. devices or smartphones because these computers perform different computing tasks. Typically, if you work for an enterprise, for example, if you suppose you are working for DMV, then your server controls the web services, the web applications, and also the jobs that you run on a daily basis as a part of the enterprise to process the data. A server is always plugged in and generally remains switched on all the time, which means its operating system would not need a power saving feature. The three basic categories of operating systems on computers and mobile devices are desktop version, server version, and mobile version. Desktop version is primarily the user level computers, such as your Microsoft Windows, the one you are using, that's like a desktop computer. So it is reached with user feature. It has sleek GUIs. It can have sleek GUIs and so on. But servers on the other side, they don't need any uh, fashionable GUI, or they even do not need a lot of user side programs at all. But they emphasize on the jobs specific for the server, such as keep running the web services, the web application server, processing timely jobs, I mean timed jobs, and so on. Operating systems such as Linux or Unix that function as both desktop and server operating systems sometimes are called multi-purpose operating systems. But with advent of technology these days, Windows can also act as your desktop operating system as well as your server. Windows do provide servers, and it also provides a lot of mobile interfaces on the tablets. An operating system installed on a single computer is called personal computer PC operating system or a desktop operating system. A desktop operating systems are also sometimes called standalone operating systems or client operating systems. Certain computers and devices run only those operating systems designed specifically for the computer or device. Examples of widely used desktop operating system include Windows, Mac, we, Unix, Linux, and Chrome operating systems. This table summarizes examples of operating systems by their category. Some desktop operating systems are here. For example, let's pick up Microsoft Windows, the first row. The name of the operating system is Microsoft Windows. It is used on desktop computers, mostly the desktop computers, laptops, and some tablets. There are server utilities as well for Microsoft Windows these days. You go to Amazon Web Service, you will see lot of Windows servers can be installed there, can be included as a part of their elastic computing platform. There are a lot of notable features of Windows like the Cortana, the virtual assistant, touch screen, input, HoloLens headset, and built-in applications such as Microsoft Edge browser. You can have the Linux operating system as well. Look at this row, one, two, three, four, fourth row. Linux supports desktop computers, laptops, and some tablets distributed under the terms of general public license. These are the open source. Linux is an open source software, meaning the operating system software can be downloaded, can be modified, can be customized as per the user's need. And then after you modify, you can also integrate that to the Linux operating system programs, provided the community accepts those changes. There are Chrome operating systems as well, like your Chromebook applications, laptops, you have the Chrome operating system. This is strictly based on Linux. This uses Google Chrome browser as its user interface, and primarily it is running web apps. The term personal computer is sometimes used to describe computer that runs the Windows operating system. It does not have to be mandatory, but it's a traditional, it's a common culture kind of. Windows include a browser, a cloud storage device like Microsoft OneDrive, and the Windows Store or app purchases. Features of the latest version of Mac OS include a browser, Safari browser, a cloud storage service, iCloud, and the Mac application store for app purchases. You can tell that App Store. The Unix is a multitasking operating system developed in the early 1970s, and those are mostly initially used by for the scientific purposes. The Linux, introduced in early 1990s, is a popular multitasking Unix-like operating system, but it's not derived from Unix, for example, um, that runs on a variety of personal computers, servers, and devices. Linux is available as a variety of forms called distributions. Chrome OS, introduced by Google, is a Linux-based operating system, as I mentioned before. Applications are available through the Chrome Web Store, and the data is stored on Google Drive if you use Chrome operating system. A specialized laptop like Chromebook and a specialized desktop that runs Chrome operating system is called Chromebox. A server operating system is a multi-user operating system because it controls a single centralized server computer that supports many users on the network computers. When you talk about server operating system, you can have the Windows servers, you can have Mac OS servers, Unix servers, also the Linux servers. The smartphones, tablets, and other mobile devices use a mobile operating system. A mobile operating system has features similar to those of a desktop operating system, but is focused on the needs of a mobile user and the capabilities of the device. Mobile operating system works especially well with mobile device features such as touch screens, voice recognition, and Wi-Fi network. Mobile devices are optimized to perform functions common to the mobile users. So one of the important thing to consider a mobile device for a mobile device, that is, it is very much dependent on your battery lifetime. So your application should be optimized, should be able to utilize optimization of their performances to save the battery life as much as possible. There are examples of mobile device. Two main categories are Android and iOS. These are the two types of the smartphones commonly found in the market. There can be different types of operating system as well, like an operating system has the same role whether for desktop or mobile device. It manages operations and provide UI or user interface. Operating systems enable us to work with applications and to monitor and maintain the functions of the computer or device. You can see in this screen there are two screenshots of two different screens. This one is for Android operating system. This one is for iOS operating system. Features like icons make the transition between using a mobile device and a computer easier. For more computer desktop monitors today are touch-enabled, computer users can take advantage of this feature. A desktop operating system may use menus, windows, and bars to run applications and to access features within the applications. A mobile operating system may have one program running at a time with others running in the background, or it may provide a means for multiple applications to execute simultaneously on the same screen. Different types of programming paradigms there in the operating system, because operating system is essentially a software. It is exclusively it's a software, so it must contain the programs for doing the tasks. Now the programs can be two types: closed source programs. Microsoft Office, for example, you cannot see the source code of Microsoft Office. The closed source programs have standard features and can be customized only by using the utilities of the operating system. You cannot get access to the programs like Microsoft Office or Mac OS X. I mean, they don't expose their source code to the common common people. Users can add functionality and sell or give away their versions to others. The proponents of open source programs state that because the code is public, coders, the programmers can examine, correct, and enhance the programs. A device dependent program is one that runs only on specific type or make of computer or mobile device. For example, if you are thinking about running, um, like, for example, the Microsoft Word, a Windows operating system is the best suited for that. But these days, there are compatibility versions on the MacBook as well for the Microsoft Word. The proprietary software is a privately owned, limited to specific vendor or computer or device model. Example is Microsoft Office, for example. The mobile operating systems use technologies such as cellular, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, GPS, and NFC to communicate with other devices and to connect to the internet. A cross-platform application is an application that runs on the same way on multiple operating systems. Microsoft Windows and Mac OS X are example of closed source software. You know, that's what I mentioned. Open source programs and apps have no restrictions from the copyright holder regarding the modification and redistribution. At this point, we can discuss the difference between a mobile operating system and a computer operating system. Which operating system was used in the early stages of computer use? Like any other introduction to computer topics, ethics takes a big place here. As new versions of the operating systems are rolled out, users often upgrade their existing computers and mobile devices to incorporate features of the new versions. The user includes continuity of service, no disruptions because you get cut off from using the software because it is improperly licensed, and security. Uh, an operating system's automatic update feature can be configured to alert users when an update is available or to download and install the update automatically. For example, this screen shows the Windows Update screen, and you can see that the state of the update is given here. For example, in this screenshot, it shows that the device is up to date with the latest update, and there are other options as well there. You can see other areas where you can work on, like you can pause the updates, you can see the update history, that is very important, and so on. Managing files and folders play an important role when you talk about an operating systems. A file is a collection of information stored on your device, like text, document, spreadsheets, photos, or even musical files. The file format determines the type of files of programs and apps that you can use to open or display the work with a file. A file extension is a 3 or 4 letter sequence preceded by a period, and at the end of a file name that identifies the file as a particular type of document, such as docx is a Microsoft Word document, or JPG is a typical graphic file. So this table summarizes the file types and extensions. Microsoft Office, you can see here, it can produce multiple file types, um, like docx, xlx, xlsx for the Excel, and pptx for the PowerPoint. Text file, for example, you can have .txt and .rtf. Web pages like .htm or .html, .xml, etc. Graphics, you can see JPG, PNG, or TIF. You can change or view the properties of a file, compress a file to save space, storage space, move or rename a file or folder, and organize your files. A cloud storage becomes more prevalent. We talked about it during our last discussion, last week's discussion. A cloud storage is uh, is becoming very popular, and users rely more on their mobile devices. Some of these tasks may not be the ones you have encountered before. Operating systems include many utilities, also called tools, that enable you to perform file management tasks. Every file has properties such as its name, type, and location and size. File properties also include metadata, including the dates when the file was created, modified, and last accessed.